Hello everyone, it's Dr. Rafiq here. I hope so you all are doing very well. Today I'm here to talk about introduction to research. In fact, we will talk more about what research is and how we can do it. And moreover, today's session will break many of the myths that research is something which is for, specific people and which is for the specific class. In fact, it's not like this because research is for everyone and especially for those who want to pursue their career in research and particularly want to complete their PhD or have completed their PhD. Uh, but in reality, this lecture is fundamental, so it would help more to those people who don't have prior experience of doing research or understanding it. So I'll try to make it doable because many of the people think that research is a very complex phenomena and is basically something which cannot be done. So we will try to make it doable. So let's move forward. Here are some session objectives, like we want to know the context of the research and in fact a little bit about the definition of research, why we do research, when we do. I mean, it's not every time that you need research, so about the particular time and situation and how we do it research, more important one, that how we can do it and some basic concepts about the research. So let's move forward towards the research. What is research? Of course you must have some answer about it because this is something you uh, you know you know more about it on daily basis and you have heard about it on daily basis. So what's your answer? uh, I guess most of the people say that research is searching again. So somehow it's okay, but it's not like this because why we need to search again? So it's more than searching again. So here is a proper definition for research. In fact, research is a systematic and objective process of gathering, recording, and analyzing data in a scientific way for making good decisions. So first of all, systematic and objective. Research is something which is with proper plan. It's not something which is in haphazard. So we must have some plan and sequence of doing the activities, and we also must have some objective to do it, because without objective you can't do the research. The reason is because research demands time, money, and resources. So if you don't have any objective, so why will you do the research? And its process of gathering, I mean assembling the data and recording it on your computer device or softwares, so that you can analyze it for the purpose that you can make some results. And that data is collected in a scientific way. We will talk in a bit about the scientific way forward to make some good decisions. Because if we talk about evidence-based management is the management which believes on some facts and figures. I mean the decisions, though the decisions that are made on some facts and figures. So for good decision making, you must have some scientific data, some scientific way of collecting the data, so that you have some proper facts and figures about it. So what is the scientific method? It is a systematic inquiry of collecting observable concrete data to produce structured proofs. We have talked about systematic inquiry, I mean, which is having some plan, which is not in haphazard, which is not coming without plan, and is of collecting the data that is observable, concrete data, I mean, which has some validity and reliability to produce structured proofs. So that you must have proof, because it's all about the evidences, as I talked about, that if you want to make good decisions, you must have some facts and figures and proofs. uh, we can define it in another way as well. Scientific method is a preferred way of doing research. And scientific, when we talk about scientific, it means that the knowledge which is testified, which has some evidences, which has some proof and some facts and figures. So it is about scientific method. So going back towards the definition, I want to make it more clearer, because if you are just going to start your journey, you must know that what the research is. It is systematic and objective process of gathering, recording and analyzing data in a scientific way for good decision making. In fact, we can say for good business decisions as well. So why we do research? We must know the objective of research. Here are some key elements for what we do research. Number one, to reduce uncertainty, because the business can't be done in uncertain environment. You have to reduce that uncertainty. Particularly, you can't eliminate it, uh, but you can reduce it, or you can predict the uncertainty. So for the prediction, you must need the research, and you have to do it in a systematic way. Another reason why we do the research is management is a science, because I talked about the evidence-based management, which basically advocates that management is a science which needs some facts and figures. Although a few of the researchers claim that management is art as well, but those artistic elements are less as compared to science. So if you want to get success in your management practices or in your business decision practices, you must have the research. Conducting a study, if you want to complete your PhD, you want to complete your MPhil, or you want to pursue your career in academics, you must need to conduct the research. So here is some academic purpose as well. Reading and evaluating other people's study. In fact, when you are planning to do the research, you have to read and evaluate the work of other people. So that is also objective, because if you want to become a knowledgeable and you want to gain some knowledge, you must read and evaluate others people work. Understanding brief description of studies, and you want to describe, or you want to get understanding of different studies. Those could be management practices, those could be HR practices, those could be management practices, and so on. Whatever the objective you have, so you have to get understanding through the research. Making decisions in our daily lives, although most of the time in daily lives we are taking decisions without following the proper way of research, but if you do it in a way that you have conducted the research once, it will help you to make your daily life decisions more better. Being a better thinker, if you want to label yourself as a better thinker or as a think tank of your society, then you must conduct the research. Remember that people always respect those who have better knowledge as compared to others. And in fact, it is the knowledge economy, it's not the wealth economy, or it's not the weapon economy. It's all about the knowledge economy. The uh, societies or the nationalities or the countries who have more knowledge are the basically ruling nations. And the last one, or not the least one, you might have some other reason as well, but I would just conclude it over here that research is the secret of life as well. Because at many places in Quran Majid as well, it is advocated that the people who know cannot be equal to the people who don't know. It is also the secret of the success as well. Success may be defined in many ways. We will talk about it in coming slides as well. So here are some points and objectives why we do research. So there could be any one or two or three or whatever you have the reasons to do the research, but it is something that is doable for you. When to conduct research? It is, a big question. Many people do ask that when we need to research. Here are some, in fact, assumptions. Either these assumptions are completed, then you can conduct the research, or if those assumptions are not completed, then you may skip it because of the limitations. So, first of all, is the time constraints. Remember it that research is such a process which take time. So if you have time, sufficient time to do it, then you must do the research. If you don't have a time, then of course you may skip it because you don't have time. So in that case, you may take decision on your hunching or on your previous data, but it's preferable that you should spare some time to conduct the research, because the decisions or the results which will be concluded through the research will be more valid. And here the situation fits that the difficult time always causes the choices. And if you have time, yes, please do it. And if you don't have time, don't do it. Availability of data: if you have some data to do the educate research for making decisions, then you should do the research. And if you don't have data, then it's probably very difficult for you to conduct the research. Nature of decisions: if the decisions are complex and having some impact on your organization, then you should do the research. And if the decisions are very normal or routine type, or having no impact on your organization, then it's not preferred to do the research. And the last one is benefits versus cost. If you have more benefits as compared to cost, then you should do the research. If your cost is maximized and you have more cost as compared to benefits, because it's cost benefit analysis, so then possibly you have to postpone it, or you have to create more value towards your research so that you can make it a comprehensive process. And here you can evaluate that either the value is increased or the cost is increased. If the cost is increased, then you may skip the research, and if the value is increased, then of course you need to do it. In fact, research is basically adding more value towards your organizations or decision making. Here is the important one point about classification of research. We classify the research on the basis of application, on the basis of objective, on the basis of time dimension, and on the basis of inquiry mode. We will discuss one by one about all these. Number one, if we talk about application of research, we have two types of research. One is basic or pure research, and other one is applied research. Basic or pure research is basically a generic research and is not derived towards some specific organization. I mean, it's not done for some organization. It is to have the in fact address the general phenomena. Let's say why social media marketing is important to increase the sales, or we can say that why employees are dissatisfied. It's not about some particular organization, it's a general phenomena, and we want to explore it. That research would be basic or pure research. Applied research is in fact a case based research, or is indicated towards specific organization, and you want to solve the problem of a particular organization. So that is called applied research. Most of the time, applied research is the paid research or the sponsored research. In fact, the company hire the people so that they can solve their particular problem. So that is the applied research. And the basic research is such a research which is done in a, for to address some specific problem, to solve some generic problem. Objective of the research: there are three types for what we do the research. One is exploratory research, number two is descriptive research, and explanatory research. Exploratory research is basically for the groundbreaking when you don't have anything or just a little bit concepts you have and you want to make it more clearer and you want to explore it more in depth. Then we do the exploratory research. Normally exploratory research is a qualitative research in which you basically generate the theory, and descriptive research is basically you want to describe some phenomena through some statistical data or some facts and figures. In fact, when you explore something, some theory or some concepts, then you describe them in descriptive research. Normally descriptive research is a quantitative research. I want to make it clear for one more time. Descriptive research basically explains the concepts which are normally developed in the exploratory research. Explanatory research is sort of when you want to explore and you want to describe at the same time. So explanatory research is about explaining those results or explaining about those concepts. So it is normally as mixed method research, which basically incorporates both exploratory and descriptive type of objectives. In terms of times, you have two types of research: cross sectional research and longitudinal research. Cross sectional research is such a research when you collect the data for one time. I mean, you go to the respondent just one time to fill out your questionnaire, or you go, whatever the mode of inquiry you have, you just visit the respondent one time. And longitudinal research is such a research in which you get the data again and again. In fact, if you are doing applied research, then you mostly go to the longitudinal research to understand the prevailing problems in the organizations. But it's not mandatory, you may have some other situations as well. So once again, I want to conclude it that cross-sectional research is such a research in which you collect the data one time, and longitudinal research is such a research in which you go to respondent time and again so that you can get the data. In query mode, you have three types of the mode. One is qualitative research, quantitative research, and mixed method. uh, Qualitative research is such a research in which you explore some concepts. You don't have much data on it or concepts on it, and you want to develop the theory. It is in fact a subjective nature of research, and it basically is to measure the emotions and feelings of the people or something which is not already prevailing as a concept. Quantitative research is totally reciprocal to the qualitative research. In this, you basically do the research on the basis of some already established phenomena, or you have some concepts and hypotheses you develop, and in fact you conduct the data in quantitative base, and it is objective nature of research. And mixed method is the hybrid technique which accommodates both the qualitative and the quantitative research mode of inquiry. So these are classification of research which I try to sum up them in a short time, but these are very important one, and here I would like to end of this session. I just want to recall the concepts what we have discussed in this session. First, we have basically talked about the research, what research is. I talked about systematic and objective process of gathering, recording, and analyzing the data in a way that it must be a scientific method. And after that, we little bit talked about the purpose of the research, why we do it. Sometimes we want to reduce the uncertainty, we want to make our management decisions as more evidence based, and so on. So we talked about the purpose. and we talk why we when we should conduct the research, when we have time, when we have resources, when the benefits are exceeding to the cost, and so on. And other one was about how we can conduct the research, and classification of research is more important one we have discussed about. So I hope so you will get a lot about research from this session, and further if you have some questions or inquiries, you may ask in the comments. I can answer them one by one, and if you have some suggestion to put. And one more thing I want to make it clear, that this session is only for those who are just starting their career in the research or want to understand about the research. So in next session we will inshallah try to explain more about how we can do the research. Okay, have a good day. Thank you very much.